At one point, he was called a musical genius. At another point, a billionaire fashion mogul. But the story of Kanye West is not just about music or money. It's about ambition. It's about ego. And it's about how one man built an empire so massive that the entire world watched when it began to collapse. This is the rise and fall of a billion-dollar empire. The beginning, a producer nobody took seriously. Before the fame, before the billions, before the headlines, Kanye West was just a young producer in Chicago. In the early 2000s, he worked behind the scenes, creating beats for major artists. His production style was unique. Soulful samples, powerful drums, and emotional melodies. Soon, his beats caught the attention of one of the biggest names in hip-hop, Jay-Z. When he produced songs for the legendary album, The Blueprint, the industry started paying attention. But Kanye didn't just want to produce music, he wanted to be the star. The problem, record labels didn't believe in him as a rapper. To them, he was just the beat guy. But Kanye had something powerful driving him, an unshakable belief in himself. And that belief was about to change everything. The album that changed hip-hop, in 2004, everything changed. Kanye released his debut album, The College Dropout. The album was different from anything in hip-hop at the time. Instead of gangster stories, Kanye talked about life, insecurity, religion, and ambition. Songs like Jesus Walks and Through the Wire became cultural moments. Critics loved it, fans loved it, and suddenly, the producer nobody believed in became one of the biggest stars in music. But for Kanye, music was never the final goal. It was only the beginning. The vision beyond music. Most musicians focus on albums and tours. Kanye wanted something bigger. He wanted influence. He wanted culture. He wanted to build a brand. In interviews, he spoke obsessively about fashion. He believed he could change the entire industry. At first, people laughed. Fashion houses didn't take rappers seriously. But Kanye kept pushing. And eventually, one partnership changed everything. The birth of a billion-dollar brand. In 2015, Kanye launched a sneaker line with Adidas. The brand was called Yeezy. At first, nobody expected what would happen next, but the sneakers sold out instantly. Every release became an event. Lines formed around stores. Resale prices exploded. Suddenly, Yeezy wasn't just a sneaker brand. It was a cultural phenomenon. Within a few years, Yeezy was generating billions of dollars in sales. And according to financial reports, Kanye's personal wealth skyrocketed. For the first time in hip-hop history, a rapper wasn't just rich, he was a billionaire. Magazines estimated his fortune at over $2 billion. Kanye West had officially built a billion-dollar empire. Music, fashion, culture, everything he touched turned into influence. But empires built on personality can be fragile. The controversy era. Kanye had always been controversial, from interrupting award shows to making shocking statements in interviews. He thrived on attention. But as his influence grew, so did the consequences of his words. Public controversies began to escalate. Brands started to feel uncomfortable. Partnerships became unstable. The very personality that helped build the empire was now putting it at risk. And then the moment arrived that changed everything. The collapse. In 2022, the partnership between Kanye and Adidas ended. This single decision sent shockwaves through the business world because Yeezy was responsible for a huge portion of Kanye's wealth. Without that partnership, the financial structure of the empire changed overnight. Billions disappeared, from the valuation. Headlines everywhere ask the same question. How could a billionaire lose so much so quickly? The answer was simple. When your empire depends on partnerships, those partnerships hold the power. And once they're gone, everything changes, reinvention or decline. But if history teaches us anything about Kanye West, it's that he rarely stays down. Throughout his career, critics have said his time was over, and yet he always found a way to return. New music, new designs, new ideas. Because at the core of Kanye's story is something unusual, relentless belief. He once said, "People always tell you what you can't do, but they never tell you what happens if you try anyway." That mindset built the empire, and it may still shape whatever comes next. The legacy today. Opinions about Kanye West are deeply divided. Some see him as a creative genius. Others see him as one of the most controversial figures in modern culture. But regardless of opinion, one thing is undeniable. Very few artists have changed multiple industries the way he did. Music, fashion, sneaker culture, business, for better or worse. Kanye West proved that a single individual can reshape global culture. The empire may have lost billions, but the story is far from over. Because in the unpredictable world of Kanye West, the next chapter could be even bigger or even more chaotic, and the world will be watching. Finally, the legacy of Kanye West. So what does the story of Kanye West really tell us? Is it the story of a genius who changed music forever? Is it the story of a billionaire who built a fashion empire? Or is it the story of a man whose own personality became both his greatest strength and his greatest weakness? Perhaps the truth is that it's all of those things at the same time. Because very few artists in modern history have shaped culture the way Kanye West did. When he released The College Dropout, he challenged the traditional image of hip-hop. He proved that vulnerability, faith, ambition, and personal struggle could exist in rap music without losing power. Later, with albums like Graduation, he helped push hip-hop into a new era of sound and creativity. But Kanye didn't stop with music. He wanted influence in every corner of culture. And when the brand Yeezy exploded in popularity through its partnership with Adidas, he proved something that many people once thought impossible. A rapper could build a global fashion empire. For a moment in time, Kanye West was not only one of the most influential artists in the world, he was also one of the richest. Yet the same force that fueled his success, his fearless, unpredictable personality, also brought enormous controversy. And when those controversies reached a breaking point, the empire he built began to crack. Billions of dollars in value disappeared almost overnight. Business partnerships collapsed, and the world watched as one of the most powerful celebrity brands in modern culture faced its greatest crisis. But if Kanye West's story has shown anything, it's that his journey has never followed a predictable path. He has reinvented himself again and again. Producer, rapper, designer, entrepreneur, visionary, and sometimes provocateur. Love him or hate him, one thing is undeniable. Kanye West never followed the rules of the industries he entered. Instead, he rewrote them. He challenged the music business. He challenged the fashion industry. He challenged the idea of what a celebrity could become. And even when the empire seemed to crumble, the impact he left behind did not disappear. His influence is still everywhere. In modern hip-hop, in sneaker culture, in fashion, in the mindset of artists who believe they can build something bigger than music, because the real story of Kanye West was never just about money. It was about vision. It was about believing in an idea so strongly that the world eventually had no choice but to pay attention. And whether the future brings another comeback, another controversy, or another billion-dollar idea, one thing is certain. The story of Kanye West is far from finished. And in a world that constantly changes, few figures remain as unpredictable or as fascinating as Kanye West